What are some of the common difficulties you see people, common misunderstandings people have about transmission that you see as a teacher?
Oh, that the
How's
teacher
it?
has it and they don't,
That's the big
and they're
one.
going to get it from them.
That's like the big one that
Like
people
they're
walk
holding
in
all
with. They're
they're holding
holding
all
all the eggs.
they got the goodies, and you need to get the goodies from them,
Right.
or something like that.
Right.
That's
Maybe the world has reinforced that a little bit.
well. There's a lot of
spiritual
projection. There's a
traditions.
lot of there's the I don't know if we talked about it last time, but there's the trance of authority, and there's certainly someone who has, let's say, become free
Mm-hmm.
is a valuable person to have around
Right.
if you're ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so what is really happening is that their resonant field, their clarity, their resonant field, if you're sensitive, that resonant field will resonate the ultimate field that you are, that everyone is. I don't know how else to say it. It's tricky to talk about.
Yeah.
So in a sense, it feels like they're giving you energy,
Mm-hmm.
or that you're getting zapped with shakti or something like that. It feels, because if you've got a valve and it's closed, and then all of a sudden you open, all of a sudden there's a flow of water, it all of a sudden feels like, it was, now you're getting it. But the truth is, it was always there, that just wasn't perceived.
Right.
So there's a kind of, so the teacher really is more a mirror. That's why often people see a lot of their negative stuff too when they're in an environment that's highly charged. It's actually reflecting their projection, which may be very difficult for them.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very difficult. Once they start, once they start opening, then they actually see the light, as it were. And they think it's the group, or they think it's the teacher. They think it, but the truth is, it's everything. It isn't locatable. It's the ultimate mystery revealing itself. It is awakened consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we can talk about it like it's a kind of transmission, and there is a kind of physics to moving towards it in the relationship with a teacher once one has recognized it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, why don't you say a little bit more about that? Moving
that's
toward.
trickier to talk about, because it's certainly not a concept at all. It's really, and I know Jon used to talk to me about it, and I didn't quite understand him initially, but it was sort of it's like moving towards it. So when awareness gives itself to you, reveals itself to you, then you give yourself to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it works. And so when you're in like this right now, that as you're open to it, you open to it. And so it becomes this kind of mutually amplified vastness.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a passive, I think it's an important place for people to realize, because that's really the end of the attachment to the teacher, is to realize that you are that, and that you move towards it, whether it's in satsang or in relationship with somebody where there's awakened consciousness, or with a so-called teacher or whatever. So that's a very important, I'd say. Again, there isn't somebody doing it. That's what's tricky. It makes it sound like there's somebody moving towards, but moving towards is like light emanating, or like the fragrance of a flower. There's no efforting. There's no one doing it.
That's the problem, though, is it can sound like an effort.
I know. It's language breaks down there, so maybe it's better not to say anything.
Well, I mean, it always seems like you're going to one side or the other. There's a lot of Advaita. It's just like, oh, we're not doing anything. But that's not quite right either. It's like language.
Yeah. So why are they even setting up a meeting and having people come?
Right. It's like language can't really get to that middle, stay on the fence, stay on that razor between.
Yes, we're always, the more we can drop, the mental process, to get out of our head and really, arrive here, whatever this is right now.
Right.
That's the start. That's where we find
That's the
ourselves.
beginning and the end.
Well, like, it's the power of now. It's be here now. It's like, Ram Dass in the 70s, be here now. Eckhart, power of now. It's the same thing. There is only this moment. And so if we're really wanting to be free, then we have to fully arrive in this moment, because there is no other moment.
Yeah.
There is no future. There is no becoming.
Mm-hmm.
That's why firewood is firewood and ashes are ashes. There is no becoming. As long as there's becoming, we're not here. Once we realize it, once we feel the force of wanting to become, we have arrived. That's what we started in the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That's what wanting is wanting. It's not about getting.
Right.
See? Once one is liberated, the thought about it is finished. The concepts about it are gone. There's no more nothing. It's
Mhm.
completely finished. Seeking is gone. There's no more seeking. There's no more believing. There's no more attaining. There's just living life. It could be as simple as getting up and going to work, having one's relationships. Life goes on. But there's a fulfillment. There's a richness, a vividness,
Mm-hmm.
that is now what might be called, being fully alive.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the purpose of our humanity that is to discover the wholeness of our being.
So, on some level, from that place, you don't have to worry about cultivating things like compassion or anything like that. Those are natural occurrences as the result of
Well,
awareness.
one can develop those things in a way. I mean, I don't really want to say anything about whether somebody should or shouldn't cultivate anything.
Sure.
That's fine if people want to cultivate those things. But what I would say is that when one has dropped body and mind and really entered into the fullness of being, then naturally what's present is compassion. Naturally what is present is love.
So those are different faces
Naturally
of
what is-
one thing.
Yeah, yes. Naturally what is present is empathy and a deep recognition of our shared humanity.